Bodie,
Here.
Cacciatore,
Here.
Carberry Montgomery,
Here.
Kroll,
Here.
Rosendahl.
Here.
Thank you.
Please stand as you're able for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we begin tonight's meeting, we pause to orient ourselves to the kind of civic life we are here to practice. Civility, as we understand it, is not politeness, etiquette, or agreement. It's an inner disposition rooted in recognizing the equal human dignity of every person present, including those with whom we sharply disagree. Each of us is responsible for how we speak, how we listen, and how we conduct ourselves. We are not responsible for controlling one another's views, reactions, or conclusions. This space belongs to all of us. We will speak honestly, refrain from demeaning or coercing one another, and remain present even when the conversation is difficult. By holding one another in view as persons rather than obstacles, we sustain the trust that makes shared civic life possible in Urbandale tonight and beyond. All right, we will move on. We have a couple very special presentations, several very special presentations tonight. First is the proclamation for Pride Month. I want to read this proclamation. Whereas our nation was founded on the principle of equal rights for all people, whereas the city of Urbandale is rooted in the principles of trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. And whereas in honor of the 1969 Stonewall Uprising in New York and the subsequent first Pride March in June 1970, the month of June has become a time to recognize the resilience and determination of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, or questioning, intersex, asexual, aromantic community who live freely and equally. Whereas this June we listen, take a moment to open our minds and hearts, and focus on how alike we are as a community and understand the lasting contributions that the LGBTQIA+ community has made to the strengthening of the American society. Now therefore, I, Robert Andewig, Mayor of the City of Urbandale, on behalf of the Urbandale City Council, proclaim June 2026 as LGBTQIA+ Pride Month in the City of Urbandale. And I want to ask Max Mowitz from One Iowa to accept the proclamation. So Max, bear with me, I'm a little slow, I've had a knee done. I'm not running races right now.
Walk.
Yes, thank you so much for including us and asking us to be here as you provide this proclamation. Here at One Iowa, we're one of the statewide LGBTQ advocacy organizations, and we know, just like the city of Urbandale, that now more than ever, standing in solidarity with LGBTQ Iowans and of course the LGBTQ residents of Urbandale is so important. So thank you so much for lifting up our work and our community during Pride Month.
All right, great,
Thank you.
And next, I want to recognize the Urbandale 4th of July Committee to come up and make a presentation regarding the festivities. So I'm not sure who's going to start off. Mary, who's going to start us off? Tim, you're up. It's a group effort, I know that.
My name's Tim Mueller, president of the Urbandale 4th of July Committee. Is it me, or it seemed like we were just here not too long ago? Seems like the years go by pretty quick. So on behalf of the 4th of July Committee, I want to thank you, Mayor and City Council, for the ongoing support. We couldn't do it without the city support, support of our police department and our liaison on the committee. Public Works Department, I mean, it's a big event, takes a lot of time, a lot of man hours, and we've got about 20 members on our committee this year, so we appreciate all the efforts, and this is kind of our official start, presenting you with the #1 button for this year's theme. Yep. Then we did something new. So this is the fun run started in 1966. So Larry Jablonski put together a special keychain to commemorate the fun run. So we have that as well.
I'll take 6 more.
You want to pick them out? Or?
No.
Okay.
Just do 'em randomly.
We got a bucket full.
Give me the winning number.
Oh, there, yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Selected.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. Yeah, you want to come in and get a picture too? Here, come on in. Here and here too. We got one more sitting in the back. Come on up. One of these years we'll get as many, yeah, Blake's on the committee too. One of these years we'll get most of the committee members in here, so.
Somebody come over on that side.
Honor and tradition presented with the buttons. Thank you.
Well, and as they're selling these buttons, I just want to recognize that the 4th of July committee, this is, in Urbandale, first of all, we have the best 4th of July. So no offense, Mike, but Urbandale has the best 4th of July anywhere. We're very proud of our 4th of July festivities. But people don't realize that it is all volunteer driven. And the chief way to fundraise this and to pay for this is by the purchase of these buttons. So I want to ask everybody to please support and do that. And thank you to the committee for everything you do, because truly it does come off as one of the greatest festivities of all. So thank you.
This year, we're actually spending a little bit more on the fireworks, and thank you to the civic for their contribution toward those. They are going to be absolutely awesome, so make sure you get your place early and for it.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. All right, I am a little out of practice having missed one meeting, so I did bypass approving the agenda. So is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Rosendahl,
Second.
second by Bodie. Discussion, please vote. Did you note that, Blake? Who noted that for the record?
Yeah. I didn't realize.
Missed one meeting, and all right, that passes. Thank
It all
you.
falls apart.
All right, and now for our last presentation, we do have a presentation from the Metro Waste Authority. I'm going to ask Mike McCoy, the Executive Director, to come up and give a presentation. So Mike, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Council, for the time. And Mr. Mayor, I don't take offense to that. I do think you probably have the best 4th of July in the Metro, enjoyed by lots of people outside of Urbandale as well. And also, just a minute to thank you for your opening statement. That was very thoughtful, and I appreciate that happening as well. It was well done.
Thank you.
So just to get started, Michael McCoy, Executive Director of Metro Waste Authority. I'd also like to thank Pat Bodie, who's on our board and represents Urbandale and does a fantastic job on there. And a little thank you as well from Leslie Earlbeck, the Chief Operating Officer, and myself to Tim Stovey for all his help over the years and advice he's been giving to us, also managing the salt storage building out there, and just really he has kind of poured into us over the years of on advice and mentoring, so I appreciate him as well. So thanks for the opportunity tonight to get started. A little bit about our facilities. You know, we have a vast network of facilities throughout the Metro to ensure smart disposal for our residents. Metro Park East is our major landfill, just out east by, it's actually, address is Mitchellville, but it's closer to probably Runnels than it is Mitchellville. That is the largest in the state of Iowa by about 4 times of any other landfill. We do about 1,000 vehicles through that landfill every day, and collectively about 1 million tons coming into the facilities over each year. Metro Park West landfill purchased maybe 15 to 18 years ago up by Perry, about 10 miles west of Perry. It's a very small landfill. Again, Metro Park East landfill sits on about 2,000 acres. Metro Park West landfill is sitting on a couple hundred acres. but both of them doing very well and into the future, which we'll talk about. Metro Recycling Facility, which many of you have heard about or know about, it is on the Grimes flyover there, a 100,000 square foot building there, taking all of the recyclables in the metro as well as outside of the metro. We take recycling from Fort Dodge, Mason City, Clear Lake, all of Council Bluffs, Fairfield, Sheraton, and it goes on. But it is quite the Iowa facility at this point. Northwest Transfer Station and Central Transfer Station, they're just that. Garbage trucks are coming in, dropping so you can get back on the road. Urbandales go to Grimes, to the Northwest Transfer Station campus, and get you back on the road a lot quicker than driving to the landfill, and it lowers the price for your residents on that weekly pickup. Hazardous Waste Facility in Bondurant, and we'll talk some numbers here shortly. But that is Bondurant. We opened another one on the west side in Grimes to make it more convenient for the western suburbs. And then central office, of course, down at 300 East Locust in East Village is where all the finance and administrative pieces coming out of. Metro Compost Center moved in the last 8 years back out to an area of the landfill producing compost. We'll discuss about that here in a minute. And then the redemption centers. As state legislators passed some rules that redemption did not have to be done by the grocery stores or the retailers of cans and bottles. We saw a huge gap and a need by the residents, and so we have opened 2 of those at this point, looking to open more with some partnerships coming in the future as well. Those have been a huge hit in just the last couple of years. We have sorted over 2 million cans and bottles at that facility alone.
Where's that, Mike? Where do you do that?
So both, one is at the Grimes location, so you come to the recycling facility
Okay.
to bring in your recyclables, and then Bondurant has its own as well.
Okay.
The major facility being in Bondurant, where we do all the sorting. We bought a machine out of the Netherlands for that. It was $350,000. We thought the ROI would be about 5 to 7 years. That quickly changed to about 3 years when the residents have just really poured into those. So it's a good problem, right? So
Mike, how does,
yes, I'm sorry.
this is, the whole redemption
Yeah.
changing from grocery stores is new to my understanding.
Yep.
How do you guys get a cut of that then, if you for operating it?
Yeah, I know it's a great question. We preempted, we knew the law was about to change. Not going to take a side on the law personally, but we knew it was coming. It wasn't going to be good for the residents. In the redemption world, the redeemer used to get a penny in the past. They now get 3 cents for handling that. We give the nickel back to you when you bring it in, and then we, the distributors, give us 3 cents for every can or bottle that we're handling. And so it is. It has been very much worth it for us to do that and preempt that law by bringing in those facilities. We are trying our hardest on the redemption. We are getting a little fight back from on the legislative side, mainly lobbyists. Last 2 years, they've tried to pass some rules on us that said that can redemption isn't meant for us at the recycling facility. We didn't put in the nickel, that we shouldn't get the nickel or the 3 cents, because on top of that, Councilwoman, we pull from the recycling facility. So if you put it into your cart outside your house, we see that as a donation to Metro Waste Authority, and we collect that. We get the 5 cents and we get the 3 cents, right? It still leaves about $13 million for the distributor in uncollected redemptions. So they're doing just fine, right? Yeah.
Thanks for that aside there. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So a little bit by the numbers, recycling does work, regardless of what you hear in the news or by some individuals. Recycling is working at that 101,000 square foot building. Households served in Urbandale, 16,328. The rates under consolidated collection is what we do. We put those out for bid. They are trending much lower than any regional cost that you can find anywhere else. And so those numbers are the numbers. They're proven year over year. Education and outreach is our big thing. We think it's important for everyone. to have access to, the clean garbage, getting the garbage out, and it's a health risk, it's wellness risk. But we like to also connect our residents with our programs. And so last year, the school field trips out to the landfill were 2. That could go up, and we're working on it. Ready, Set, Recycle attendance by Urbandale residents was 47. That's a pretty good number. That's a brand-new program that we're growing at the recycling facility, and so we're pretty proud of that. Our education and outreach has been a national and a statewide award winner, and we're about to announce 2 other awards that we just got on a national basis for that as well. Just not out yet, but coming soon. Some of the community benefits, and again, I'm going to go very fast, but stop me with questions, and then we'll have some time afterwards. The mayor gave me 45 minutes tonight, so I'll take every bit of it. As Pat knows, the director's report comes at the end. Customer support, 62,200 resident calls answered on an annual basis and growing. 7,865 chatbot interactions. Staff loves to put this number in with chatbot. I say it's Beatrice. That's her name. We should call her Beatrice in here. But that's our AI agent on the other end answering 24/7 questions that they have, your residents have, and is doing a fantastic job. 9,000 cart deliveries. We have taken over the cart delivery on our own. And we have seen an increase from a 10-day delivery to your residents to a 48 to 72-hour delivery, whether it's they need a new cart or it needs to be fixed. So I think that's a great benefit to the residents. Metro Waste Authority in whole, although we're doing the numbers of 16,000 for Urbandale, we manage on the curbside basis of 109,000 homes on an annual basis. So a little bit of that curbside piece. Residents of Urbandale disposed of 2,373 tons. That's an impressive number. Sometimes you'll see numbers go down a little bit, but that is because of the cardboard drop-offs and the extensive cardboard drop-off, community drop-offs that we offer throughout the metro. And you provide one of those right now at your Public Works building, and I can tell you I live close by, and it's often full. And so we went from a two day a week pickups on all of our cardboard drop-offs to now a 6-day a week because they're so highly used, right?
So does that number include that cardboard drop-off that we have in Urbandale?
It does not.
Okay.
It does not. But that number is still an impressive number by your residents on 2,373. And we're constantly investing, in land and equipment. We've added, if you haven't been to the recycling facility, all of you are welcome anytime. Give me a call, give Leslie a call. We'll give you a tour anytime you want. Yourself, your family, your kids, your grandkids, whoever it is, they'll get a thrill out of this. We've just added in the last year and a half robots as well. The kids love to watch the robots sort, and so that's a lot of fun. Yard waste, another thing we've really been picking up over the last 6 to 8 years. It's a regional approach. Again, you participate in that. It's user pay with a sticker or a bag that you get, or you can twine it up on the curb. But again, compost has become a huge piece of the business. We've turned that from a negative revenue to a just barely positive revenue today, and hoping to continue to grow that. As you can see on this picture, we have done a custom bagging for Metro Waste Authority, private label, where Metro Waste now is not just selling in bulk, but we sell single bags at Hy-Vee's. Your Hy-Vee at Urbandale sells an awful lot of this material for us, so thank them for that from us. And Grow Gold Compost is our trademark on that. And then we do a lot of the SQR projects with cities around the metro as well, and a lot of them taking advantage of that discounted price for you. On the yard waste side, I'll give this little plug from the public works side of it. Believe in the program. When you have a storm, if it's not a major storm, let the program take care of itself. That's what it's set up to be. Let those residents put that material on the curb. And those minor storms and kind of medium storms, this is what the program was built for, right? I know that you get some pressure from the residents to come around and collect and all that. I understand it's a decision-making time of what the severity of that is, But this program is built around those medium to smaller storms to do that program for you. And again, we make this into compost. Your yard waste comes right back to you. 10 years ago, we were making compost in around 11 to 12 months. Today, with the science we've brought in and the equipment our board has given us access to, we now make compost in 3 to 4 months, full finished compost. So a little bit again about the recycling. You got the drop-off cardboard. I know we're working with Urbandale on another location as well, and we're always looking for different locations to make it convenient for your residents, who are the ones that are screaming for it. I dare you to take one of these away at this point. You know, it would be a fight on our hands, but it's been a great program. And then scrap tires recycled, 4.15 tons, fantastic number. Let's get those out of garages and backyards and not ending up in the ditches or the county ditches. Let's keep that program going as well. Metro Waste Authority actually loses money on this program, but we believe that it's the right thing to do, and the rest of the programs can pick up the loss of the tires piece. Battery drop-offs, that's the newest collection piece you've seen coming to your area. It's in the public library here. It is very important that we start to educate and really drive this battery drop-off and residents to dispose of mainly lithium batteries, but we made a decision not to distinguish between the two. It's just too confusing. Is this lithium alkaline? Does this go in there or doesn't go in there? We've said just put everything in there and we'll do the sorting at the end, right? Because it needs to be, our programs need to be convenient and they need to be cost effective for the residents to do the right thing, right? If they have to wonder about something, it might go into the wrong category, the garbage can or recycling can. So we keep bringing those. Huge number by Urbandale. It's got to be one of the top. Sorry I didn't bring in the leaderboard this time, but we have a brag board outside our boardroom that the city's going to see where they're at. Urbandale has to be, especially by capita.
I think per capita, we're number one.
Are you? There
Yeah.
you go. Of course, your board member knows that, right? And probably tells everybody at board night. But that's impressive by per capita. So keep that up. I'll show you in a minute why it's so important for us. 14,000 pounds were collected over 30 locations since April of last year, and we have till the end of this month. Our goal with the DNR was 10,000 pounds, and so we've exceeded that. I'd like to see 20,000. I'm not sure we'll get there, but that's what we're driving towards. Here's why it's so important on getting lithium batteries out. Lithium batteries are probably our number one menace. We have two threats at Metro Waste Authority, and we'll talk about the first, and that's batteries. That's lithium batteries mainly. They're starting the fires. Down in September 2023, and your city fire department was integral in this fire, showed up in force, and we appreciate it. I think along with 8 other cities came into this fire. Thankfully, we didn't need them all. We got it under control pretty quickly, but that is 2 years after that facility opened that we had a major fire that put us out 2.5 months. Your residents did not see a problem, didn't see a stop in their service. We have contingencies on site and in our other locations. And then October 25, matter of fact, 3 weeks ago, we had a fire, the largest fire the landfill's ever had on Monday night. And it started at 7 and we fought it till 7 in the morning. A landfill fire is fought by us, literally by our staff, and all management must go out as well. Fire departments just out there, it's remote enough. We need bulldozers and a little bit of water, and then we fight it. But that was a huge one. Lithium batteries are the cause of most fires we have, both in our trucks, at our landfill, at every one of our facilities. So it is very important to keep those out of there. And we're working on legislation on that as well. Hazardous waste material, again, another thing to keep out of the landfill for so many different reasons. There are 2 permanent drop-off sites, again, Bondurant, our main one, and then Grimes campus at the recycling facility, outside of the recycling facility, but on that campus is another one. 723 of your residents, which is a large number from Urbandale, safely disposed of waste in 2025. And so again, thank you. It seems like Urbandale is leading the way in a lot of these numbers that we present. So kudos to your residents.
On that slide, could you talk a little bit? Is there a curbside pickup option, if I recall correctly, or?
Thank you for the plug.
Yeah.
Because that is one of our biggest paid media that's about to come out, is that curbside program. Yes, we have a curbside program we just relaunched. It's been out loosely for a while, for 4 or 5 years, but we're relaunching now, and that is we will actually bring you one of those old totes like you used to have for recycling, the green old totes. They're red now, and we'll bring it to your house at a cost, drop it off, and then when you're done filling it up, we'll come pick it up as well. On top of that is coming some other services as well. If we're in your neighborhood or at your house doing that, why can't we do stickers? Why can't we do bags? And why can't we do can redemption right at your house as well? So that will all be included in that, and it's very inexpensive. I think it's $20, $25. I'd have to look at the website, but very inexpensive for us to show up and then pick up right when you get it done. So thank you for that. I give you the $5 later for the plug. Yeah. So I mentioned our biggest threat is lithium batteries. Probably equally a threat, I'd say it's pretty even on it, is landfills at an alarming rate in Iowa and the United States are going out of business. They're either closing because they've maximized the space, and that's the one thing we sell at landfills is airspace, right? And when you're out of airspace, you're done. And as a community, it doesn't feel good. Ask Cedar Rapids. They've been out once, and they're about to be out again. And they're looking at us taking their material, right? Ames, Story County, looking for us to take their material. Boone, Adair. And I could go on with many other ones that are looking for us in the next 5 years to 7 years. The board has taken the direction of pausing that, of not taking any. I believe that's the right. It would be my recommendation as well, to pause it, taking any new material from other counties until we really vet, can that county do it on their own? I feel strongly that my job, my position as a CEO here is to keep this landfill the next 50 to 100 years viable for those that I won't be around, but they need to be able to benefit from that. It's yours in Polk County, and you should benefit from it, and it's not about the dollars, right? Other landfills are going after the dollars because it's quick money from Story County. It'd be very good money for us, but it's not about the dollars as our board sees it. It's about the lifespan. The lifespan, we've done a couple tweaks in the last year alone. We're looking at 2084 at this point until we are full in our current permitted area. Now we can re-permit after that. We have 2,000 acres out there, and not all of it will be used. Some of it we have purposely in the last 10 years, and even my predecessor has done a fantastic job, Tom Haddon, has done a fantastic job in purchasing additional land, but also making wetlands and ponds and terracing and farming. We do about 800 acres of farming, and we just put in 10 acres voluntarily of wetlands. And so we'll continue to do the environmental pieces. I think sometimes we work harder on the environmental pieces surrounding us, which is the right thing to do. Water coming into our landfill from a creek, major creek out there. It leaves our property cleaner, and it's tested 4 times a year. It's cleaner leaving our facility than it is when it comes into our property. And so we're proud of that. That is it.
I have one more
Yeah.
question along the lines of like.
So I need $5 more.
Don't you have a tour coming up of your landfill?
We do. Thank you. That is
That's
$5.
one of the coolest things that my family of teenagers has ever done. I think we did it during COVID, and
That's when it started.
we loved it. And every year I tell people how cool it is, regardless of how old you are, to go do it. So
I
do you want to tell us
appreciate
when
that.
it is?
I wish I could,
No.
but I will make sure I send something out. But it is this month.
Yes, I knew that.
And it is typically on a Saturday, as you know, and we take a lot of pride and time to get it ready for the public and have a lot of fun with it. Little stops you can do, and some audio being played to explain what's happening. You know, when that came in COVID, Leslie Earlbeck came up with that idea, and I said, "You're crazy. That's ridiculous. We're not. I don't think that's going to happen." She pulled it off, and the first year, 350 cars came, and I said, it might not be a bad idea. And so every year it's grown from there, but that is coming up. I'll make sure you all get email on that. send it out to the clerk or to the mayor and get that,
So get
or
it,
Pat.
Nicole, and-
Okay. And get that sent around because that is a really fun one that we see, and all staff has a great time at it too. So thanks for coming out. Yeah, it's interesting. The little ones and
It's
adult.
very interesting, and most people don't have any reason to ever go inside the landfill, so
Yeah,
I think it's a cool opportunity that you make for folks.
thank you. Yeah, we give you full access. The last thing I'll leave you with, and I should have mentioned it when we're talking facilities, on the backside is a map. This has grown by about double in the last 8 years, 10 years. But this is where we now have footprints in the state of Iowa for different reasons. And so as you can see, we've really grown, and we're looking to probably grow most of the white down in the lower southwest will be filled in here in the next 2 years when it comes to regional drop-offs for hazardous waste and some other opportunities as well. So thank you for your time, and if there's no other questions, I'll let you keep going. I know some folks have some other places to go tonight.
Mike, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Mr.
it.
Mayor. Thank you.
All right, we will move on. Item 4 is the public forum. This is your opportunity to address the council on something that's not part of a public hearing tonight. Does anyone want to address the council tonight? All right, seeing none, we'll move on. Item 5 is the adoption of the minutes from the May 19 meeting.
So moved.
Mr. Kroll,
Second.
second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote.
Did I get in?
All right, that passes. Item 6 is the consent agenda. 10 items for approval.
Move approval of the consent agenda.
Motion by Kroll,
Second.
second by Cacciatore. Discussion, please vote. That passes. Moving on to public hearings, item 7.1 is a public hearing to consider the fiscal year 25-26 budget amendment number 1. The public notice for this is published in the May 15, 2026 Des Moines Register. Answer objections to that. Notice is published.
There were none.
Is there a motion to open this public hearing?
So moved.
By Rosendahl,
Second.
second by Kroll. Discussion, please vote. That passes. And to introduce us is our finance director, Nikki Lamb. Nikki, happy belated birthday, by the way, to
Yay. 29 was 20 years of experience, that's what we call it. Mayor and members of the council, tonight we have your one and only budget amendment for the fiscal 26 budget. I'm just going to walk through the couple of things that it covers. The majority of this is related to transfers. So the total amount is $6.6 million. 6 million of that, though, is for transfers. So I'll cover those first. This is effectively, we certify with our TIF funds so that we can say, hey, we bought these 2 blighted properties, if you recall, in Northwest Market. So we bought those properties, I certify it to the state, and then the following year we get that money back. So that is why there's a huge amount there. $4.9 million of that is for land purchases in Northwest Market, and $962,000 is for the same in the Duna district. So that's the majority of the items. And then there's a small amount of that related to legal fees that also are related to buying said properties, but that gets paid out of general fund. So it just is shifting the money from where it comes into TIF, which is legally where it has to come into, and then transferring it out to reimburse those funds that paid it a couple years ago. So that's the majority of it. The other operating type items, we had $250,000 in the public safety function, which is overtime, and the consolidation study that we're working on through the fire department. In the, let's see, sorry, these are my backup glasses. I can't quite see them. $222,000 in culture and rec. That is the airport contribution, because in the budget we moved it from economic development into that other function, so I have to actually show the function that it's going to get paid out of. And then in general government, we have $145,000. That was the market salary survey update that we just completed. And additional buffer for legal expenses. Trying to get all of we got a lot of good projects going on. and keeping Maria very, very, very busy, which is great, but getting a lot of those checked off the list. So we had an additional amount there just to cover ourselves in case we actually go over. And the last one is 50,000 as a buffer in the stormwater utility. That's a separate entity from a budget team perspective. It's a proprietary fund, so I have to have only that fund it can't go over by itself. So that it's only 50,000 just to make sure that we have cushion to finish out the year. So those are your items, $6.67 million. All of it except the hotel motel piece that will pay the airport contribution. That's coming out of fund balance. The rest is all offset by transfers in from the revenue source, and then the majority of it is coming from interest for the year in the general fund piece, and then the GEMT revenues in fire. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Nikki? All right, we're in public hearing. Technically, we're in public hearing. I don't think I see anybody outside of here, but does anyone like to address the council on this item? Seeing none, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So move.
Motion by Bodie.
Second.
Second by Cacciatore. Discussion, please vote. That passes. And then 2 resolutions for consideration.
Move resolution 171-2026.
Motion by Bodie.
Second.
Second by Cacciatore. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
Move resolution 173-2026.
Motion by Bodie.
Second.
Second by Cacciatore. Discussion, please vote. That passes. All right, moving on to item 8.1. That's the Sunflower Estates Plat 1 preliminary plat at 15905 to 16011 Douglas Parkway. And to introduce this is the Community Development Director, Rose Schroeder. Rose?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is a preliminary plat, effectively a replat, I would call it. We are just west of 156th and Douglas, so we are talking about the property right here. Frontage on Douglas. It's in 3 parcels today. Essentially, we will end up with 2 building lots. So 27, just a hair over 27 acres. And the resulting lots, let me go here for you, shown here on this plat exhibit. So this is the existing house, which is not part of this plat, although it was part of the original rezoning here. And then a proposed new single-family dwelling on each of the 2, which are shown on another exhibit that was included for you. So again, a single-family house. If you keep in mind this shape, I know that's a little hard to see on this site plan, but if you keep in mind this shape here with an existing house, which is outside of the boundary, that is right here. So a future house would go north of that, and another one more central on what is today that center parcel. So you'll notice there was some discussion in the staff report about making sure that we're using the existing driveway and that there will be a shared access easement to what I will call that second house on this parcel. They have shown that here. So again, if we go back to the aerial, so this would remain the driveway access for both properties, and there would be access agreements as necessary getting to both building sites. Couple other things of note, of course, we have a 50-foot landscaping and setback buffer here along Douglas. That will hold true here as well. No fences, anything like that will be allowed in that area. They'll still be required to do stormwater, and they've submitted those initial reports. The one thing that would not trigger on this that you maybe are accustomed to seeing is the parkland dedication. We had 3 parcels to start with. We're ending up with 3 parcels in the end. So effectively, this is a replat. So I am happy to answer any questions. This is a discussion that has on again, off again been going on for some time. In fact, I think the rezoning was maybe even back in 2020, but even in my short time here, there have been ongoing discussions about how this could work and how it might work. Two other things I will just note: when improvements were happening to Douglas Parkway, there was an assessment done for the paving that has been addressed. The other is that there is a sanitary sewer connection fee that would be paid with construction, with this plat, with the construction of one of the houses, which is typical. Happy to answer any other questions.
All right, thank you, Rose. Questions for Rose?
So with the part, you said parkland dedication wouldn't apply because
It's already subdivided.
it's already
Yeah.
subdivided? Okay.
Yep.
Because you said 3 lots.
So originally, when this was first rezoned and there was some platting, this property would have been part of that originally. And so there was another small plat that had occurred before. So effectively, we had 3 parcels originally, and we'll only have 3 parcels in the end.
Okay. So what we're talking about is the 2 lots,
Mhm.
and then the 3rd lot is that corner square.
In the context of that comment, that is correct. So
Okay.
that parcel would sit off of the sheet, and of course, it's not part of the parcel. Or it would be right here. So we're going to end up with 2 constructible building sites, one up here and one over here. Now, it's possible that this could be, it's not the intention, but could be further subdivided in the future. So we wanted to make sure that we can address that with this as well. And we have. If that were the case, there would be other requirements down the road.
Got it. Okay.
All right, any further questions? If not, is there a motion?
Move approval of Council Letter 8604.
Second.
Motion by Kroll, second by Carberry Montgomery. Discussion, please vote. That passes. Item 9.1 is to consider the reserved public parking and public ingress easement for 5100 72nd Street. Rose, answer any questions if there are.
I do have a quick question about and this is maybe adjacent, but the shelter on just off Gloria Day that's no longer going to be part of network for DART. Is that something that we would have like future considerations and conversation about?
I've been having significant conversations
Okay.
with that at DART, and I think the intention, at least my intention, which for better or worse is going to be weighed heavily on this, would be to move it to in front of the food pantry.
Okay, gotcha.
So, but likely not until a couple months down the road. They got a lot going on right now, so I've not forgotten about it. It will not be forgotten. Will be moved to a prominent location. I mean, eventually I'd love to see us do one downtown Urbandale, but until we have a better idea of what we're doing, I think we should just move this one to the food pantry, or the vicinity of the food pantry.
And I realize I jumped ahead in the agenda. Now that I look at
But I
it.
answered your question.
Yes,
though.
you answered my question,
Okay.
so no more questions on this one. Sorry, I missed.
So I was trying to tie.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. Yeah, you looked at me and I'm like, oh, you know what? I jumped ahead. Never mind.
Okay, so. Blake's always 3 steps
I
ahead.
got ahead.
I'm always happy to talk about DART.
All motion to approve Council Letter 8606.
Motion by Rosendahl,
Second.
second by Kroll. Discussion, please vote. All right, that passes. Item 9.2 is consider the 2080 agreement for the Mid-Iowa Health Foundation Emergency Rental Assistance Study Project. And Curtis, answer any questions if there are.
Yeah, I just wanted to know more about it. I see we now have a handout. Well, this is probably going to take care of it. I swear, I thought I clicked on everything, and I never saw this, so, oops. But I just wanted to know more about it, just generally speaking. And it looks like it's here.
Fantastic. I'll sit down. Thank you.
This is run by the same folks that have worked with some of the other studies, like Uplift. That's the same group.
It's the
Right.
same group,
Okay.
Mid-Iowa Health Foundation. We're working with Dr. Nayla Johnson, and in fact,
Johnson.
Annika Schilke gets recognition and thanks for bringing that agreement through with Dr. Johnson and then this council letter tonight. But yes, same organization. This was budgeted, part of the recommended budget for $50,000 coming up. The main study question is, what is the most effective length of time to provide emergency rental assistance so that a family experiencing crisis can get back to an economically stable situation? So the study will begin this fall, or late summer, early fall, run through late summer, early fall of September 2028, serve about 675 participants. During that time, there will be these community conversations. Urbandale Public Library is already engaged in that, so we'll work to keep you updated on when those conversations happen, but everything is at upliftiowa.org.
Motion to approve resolution 170-2026.
Okay. Motion by Rosendahl,
Second.
second by Kroll. Discussion, please vote. That passes. Item 9.3 is consider the license agreement for the Des Moines Area Regional Transit Authority Park and Ride, and John Conyer would make a presentation. John?
Mayor, council, thank you. This is a really long presentation. Nicole, could you, it's literally one slide. I just wanted to show you where the park and ride is. So as you all know, with Reimagine Dart coming on June 14th, the routes here will change. And so the current two park and rides at the Bucks former arena on Hickman Road and the one that was mentioned prior are not on routes anymore. And so Dart staff and city staff wanted to find a way that we could definitely make sure and get a park and ride here. So it's going to be here at City Hall campus. It's going to be in the 6 squares you see here. Dart will sign just about at the intersection of 86th. They'll also sign again right out front here. There'll be signs at the island here, as well as Public Works has graciously agreed to, when they restripe the parking lot this year, that they will probably make them purple. So you'll know that they're actually Dart spots across the way. So I thank John and his team for agreeing to that. So that's the agreement in front of you. It would be for 5 years. It's shorter than what Dart has done in the past, but we want to make sure that this works for both Dart and for Urbandale. So it's a 5-year term. If it works out great, which we all hope it does, then we would definitely extend it moving forward. Happy to answer any further questions.
John, I just wanted to thank you guys for moving this so expeditiously. The email from the constituent that triggered this came in less than a month ago, I think. So we got this taken care of with Dart staff and our staff. I think we've just got to wait and see what habits are going to be formed with folks. But someone who utilized one of our current park and rides suggested this, and with our beautiful bus shelter here, makes sense. And as we know, Route 4 is going to be a major cross-town route, so it'll easily get folks into downtown to transfer or to if they work downtown. So I'm really pleased that we were able to get this done. I didn't think it would happen before June 14th, but thank you.
The stars aligned.
Yes.
So.
I'll move approval of Council Letter 8600.
Motion by Carmen Montgomery.
That's
Second.
the address. That's kind
Second
of
by
funny.
Bodie. Discussion, please vote.
I saw that too.
Yeah, that is appropriate. That passes. Item 9.4 is consider the insurance coverages for fiscal year 26-27. John?
Thank you, Mayor. Members of council, this is, and Nicole, could you, thank you. We got it down now. This is the insurance renewals. So this is not health insurance, this is everything else. So property casualty, workers' comp, across the way. Wanted to give you a little bit of context on each of the lines of coverage before we dive into what numbers are. So Iowa billion-dollar disasters, as you can see, they are more frequent and they are more severe. So it's not to shock you, but climate has changed, things have changed, and so the disasters are more frequent and greater out there. So that drives your property insurance for sure. The other one is also vehicles. So as we talk about, we have a rather large fleet. We are looking at close to 400 plus movable things. As ICAP says, if it drives on a street or a trail, it's a vehicle. So wanted to show you here where we were in the last decade. So around 1920, vehicle prices went up, and that's for everything, tractors, skid loaders, as well as cars. And they've leveled off a little bit in the last 2 or 3 years, but they still went up greatly. And so you'll see those as rates come forward also. Then this is the multi-lined graph that will show you where does our ICAP coverages come in here across the way, and you'll see property is going to be the blue line. A decade ago, we were roughly about $90,000. You're looking at $320,000 this year. That's both for we build new things, and the things that we own are more expensive to replace. And you also see across the way we saw disasters. And that definitely comes into an effect when you look at rates moving forward. You see it has leveled and dipped a little bit. We made the decision last year to move from a $25,000 deductible to a $50,000. If this number continues to increase at the rate that it has, we may come back and say, what's $250,000, what's $500,000 to retain? Yeah. And so that is the amount that we would pay up front if we had something, and then insurance would kick in after that. Liability is the same here. Nuclear verdicts, we talked a little bit in the council letter. Those are judgments above 10 million. We don't have many here in Iowa, but unfortunately there's a lot across the country. And that comes into reinsurance. So liability insurance has gone up significantly, more than doubled in the last 10 years. You'll see the bottom two are auto, that's liability coverage and property coverage. You'll see the spike here for when inflation kicked in and vehicles became more expensive. On the good note, these have leveled off recently. So both for the city and hopefully for yourselves, your car insurance should level and or dip slightly in the next year or two coming up. So that is kind of property casualty and liability insurance all on one slide. Any questions on this? If not, I'm going to move on to workers' comp.
Yeah, John, have liability claims gone up during that time?
The number of claims has stayed relatively static for us in the last 5 years. The cost, though, has ratcheted up. So a claim that we would settle or look to settle or ICAP would settle maybe in the last 5 years at $30,000, you're now looking at $100,000 or plus.
Thanks.
You're welcome. No other questions, we'll move forward. So workers' compensation rates. So I wanted to show you a map a little bit of here of what is cost per 100 of payroll, because workers' comp is based on your payroll costs that you pay out. So Iowa here falls roughly between that $1 to $1.29 on average going forward. You'll say this is not a pretty graph from my perspective, but we have to be transparent and open. So our workers' compensation claims costs have skyrocketed here in the last couple of years. You have to remember, though, workers' comp is always on a 3-year lag. So your claims from 3 years ago impacts you in year 2, 3, and 4. So there's a lag out there. We know we've had increased claims 20, 21, 22. The amount that we were paying was definitely less than what IMWCA was paying for the claims that we had out there. That's now caught up to us, and we see those last year and this year. Definitely something in the last year we've addressed. Our claims are down significantly, and especially the indemnity claims, which are the ones where you pay for both the medical cost as well as their time away for work. And so we've reduced that number. And so the hope is in the next couple years, as those ones from 3 years ago fall off, that this will start to drop down. What does that mean? We saw the map before where Iowa's about the $1.50. Our rates per this year are going to be $2.11 per 100 of payroll. And so we are definitely above average and need to bring that number down. Any questions on workers' comp before we move on? No? Okay. So the city has 2 work programs for workers' comp. Is one where we actually insure. For 411, which is fire and police here, they're actually self-insured, and we use a TPA, which is someone who processes the claims and we get a discount for, and that's with EMC. The Iowa legislature has made a number of changes to fire and police benefits in the last 5 and 6 years, and so you see some of those climbing up here. I only included the last year for 24-25 fiscal year. We're not done with 25-26 yet. If I take through to date, it's roughly 186,000 of where it falls on this graph here. We definitely have seen claims go up. This is just medical claims. We don't pay indemnity, so they work here and continue to be paid, and this is just the actual medical cost piece across the way. Estimated for next year is probably 275,000. Nikki asks for this information every year, and that's what's forecasted to put in the budget that you've approved and seeing out there. So this is in line where we anticipate costs moving forward. Any other questions on 411?
Honestly, you lost me on this one.
Oh.
Is this, I mean, self-insured third-party administrator, we have a TPA paying medical for what?
You have TPA medical for work injuries or presumptive diseases for fire and police officers.
Okay, so these are, part of this is medical for work comp.
Part of it is for work injuries. That is probably 30% of this cost. The 70% of this cost is presumptive diseases based on Iowa Code Chapter 411.
Understood. I'm kind of interested in the work comp piece of that. Sure. I think you said previously that we had an increase in claims 1, 2, or 3 years ago.
Yes.
And so that's caused the medical payments to go up.
That is on the non-public safety side. Our work injuries for police and fire are pretty much flat in the last 6 years.
Okay.
So on the non-public safety side, we had a definite tick up. So that's parks, public works, engineering. On the police and fire side, we've actually been flat for about 6 years for just work injuries.
Okay.
The increase has been on the presumptive side for sure.
Got it.
Yep.
John, I must have missed it if you said it, but what's the blue line versus the red line here?
I apologize. It got cut off on my slide. The blue line is going to be claims paid, and so these are actual claims paid for medical services. And then the orange or red line down here is what we pay the TPA or EMC. So that's their cost to pay the $221,000. So it's just to show the actual fees we've paid are relatively flat.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So now we're going to talk about cyber, the last one. I promise we're almost done. So cyber insurance, wanted to show you a little bit here. In 2024 is the last data that I have out here. Unfortunately, we're at the bottom. Governments have seen the greatest amount of attacks in the last couple of years, and that's not decreased, unfortunately, moving forward. So we are in a high attack sector, so that's just to be something to be aware of. Our cyber insurance has gone up, and this year we actually are looking to increase the amount that covers. So up and through this year, we've had $1 million as far as the max cap per incident and per aggregate. So if we had an attack and we had to buy services to try to restore services and computer parts to rebuild a server and to notify those people that they happen to be breached, our limit was $1 million. And working with our IT director, James Breyer, we've been getting close to what we think we could do with $1 million. This year, we really thought we've kind of gone past that point. So went to the market and said, what is a doubling of that? So $2 million. And so that came back with about an $8,000 increase for just staying at the $1 million. So the $45,000 is for the $2 million, and that's the recommendation for this year. That's a lot of graphs and a lot of numbers in a short period of time. Happy to answer any questions.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, John, I don't know if you can be this granular, but generally speaking, when we see these increased costs for medical expenses, is that a combination of increased claims and medical inflation? I'm really trying to get a beat on the inflation part of that. Have you seen the same medical services, the same treatment for the same injury costs twice as much now as it did 5 years ago?
Yeah, council member, I will say, we designate for non-public safety Unity Point and for public safety Mercy. And those numbers have stayed relatively static for the last 5 or 6 years. So the amount we pay for an employee to be seen for, say, a sprain or a strain is roughly about the same. It's relatively there. When you talk about orthopedics or talk about specialty care, yes, that is significantly increased. I don't have a percentage of it, but I can tell you it's at least 40 to 60% depending on what it happens to be.
So surgeons are gouging us. I'm kidding. That's humor. But anyway, thanks.
I won't comment on that just in case some of them are watching.
I know.
All right, with that, any further questions? If not, is there a motion?
Move approval, Council Letter 8575.
Motion by Kroll,
Second.
second by Rosendahl. Further discussion? If not, please vote. That passes. Moving on to reports, city manager's report, David.
Nothing tonight other than just, I think we're ready for DMDC. We've got our meeting set up. The itinerary is set. So those who are going, we'll see you bright and early Wednesday morning.
Blake?
Got to go to the downtown meeting at the library was it this week? Last week. It was last week. Yeah. So that was I think it was really informative from the street restriping as well as like the branding update. I thought there was some really good feedback from the community there too, just in reference to how's the queuing going to work for the school and what does everything look like from there. I think one thing, looking at it, if there is an opportunity to coordinate with Des Moines on the eastern kind of transition back out to the 2 lanes, because everything transitions back down to 1 lane east of Merle Hay and just immediately west of it. It seems like if there's an opportunity for us to work with Des Moines to make sure that it is kind of just consistent as it goes down and stays down rather than widening out and going back down immediately again. I feel like that'd be a good opportunity. Obviously, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but I think that'd be a good opportunity because I don't think people are going to differentiate between Urbandale versus Des Moines in that they're just going to look at that and be like, what? But very good overall. And then it looked like the summer reading kickoff was very successful. So huge thanks to all the people that kicked that off and the library staff for putting that on. And so it was a good, my kids enjoyed it, and there were a lot of other kids that were running around in the bubbles as well. So that's all I got.
All right, thank you, Blake. Bridget?
First of all, happy 35th anniversary to the Cacciatories. I'm gonna talk as long as possible. Sorry,
You stole Joe's thunder.
I'm sorry.
No, not at all.
I will forget things that Joe can definitely bring up related to the sports, I'm sure. Congratulations to the Waukee Northwest Girls Track Team on another state title. I think we've won all but 1 year in the existence of the school, which has been 5 years, I think. So congratulations to them. I know we have soccer state coming up, so I know our teams are well represented there as well.
Urbandale, yeah.
Thanks to Amy and Pat and Derek for joining us on Friday for the dart field trip. It was incredibly successful, in my opinion. We had 2 full buses, got great feedback from those who attended it. I'm just really excited about reimagined art implementation. I really think, despite the fact that we actually are cutting the amount of service, I think we are putting better service on the road. So it's all hands on deck at DART right now, getting everything ready. And because when you wake up on June 14th, there will be all new service, all new signs. It's pretty amazing what they have planned. So saw this on Facebook today. I thought this was pretty exciting. There's going to be free kids eye exam offered at the library coming up in July. And I just wanted to point that out. I think our library is able to do some really incredible partnerships throughout the year, but this one I thought was really cool. And I just had a question about the water tower drilling out in our neck of the woods, David. Is that happening this year?
Yes, there. I did get some communication that I will forward on from Neil about the plans for that may be accelerated due to some opportunities that the engineering firm has identified. So we will send an update out on that.
I couldn't remember if it was this year or next year.
Yeah, whatever it was, it's planned to be more accelerated based on some new information that just came my way within the last 2 or 3 business days. So we'll get that included.
Okay, well, I'm glad I asked then. And then my last question was about the Douglas Avenue meetings. There was one last week and there's one this week. That was not, I think, collectively on any of the council's radar, and I'm not able to attend any of the meetings. So I'd really, if there are problems coming out of those meetings, I'd love to hear about those. I mean, I hope there's not, but this is the kind of thing that we have had problems with in the past in terms of communication. So looking forward to not hearing an update really, but if there's something that people are upset about, I hope we can hear about that soon.
I think that's, I think it's primarily information sharing from staff and to gather questions and then report that back, so. And I think, Blake, you said you were at the one last week, and I plan to go.
Pat and I were.
I plan to go tomorrow night to the other one, so.
I plan on going too.
And Joe and I went Thursday night to that.
Well, that's all I have, so I'm
Well,
sure
I
I
wanna
love things for
welcome-
other people.
It's my turn, right?
Yep.
I want to welcome back our mayor. Really glad he's back. I didn't think I'd get so nervous, but I did. Thank you for being here and doing what you do so well. As far as the downtown redevelopment thing, I mentioned in a note this morning, too, to a couple people on the staff, I think it would be really great if we were able to tack on to a lunch and learn the same thing that Blake and I were able to see Wednesday morning, because they covered 3 things, kind of what we voted for in the consent agenda today was a contract to do some work in the big block to prep it for future pop-ups. That's my best summary. But Aaron had done a wonderful job walking everybody through what that was going to look like, and I think everybody would want to see that. And then there was the branding piece that was quite interesting, not finished or polished up yet, but really in progress in a meaningful way. And then the street piece, how they're going to be painting Douglas in that proposal. And it would be good to get the whole council to see all 3 parts. And then, yes, Tuesday night is the streetscape piece again. I think that's 5:30. And I can just summarize out of the 2 times I've heard it, the only thing I heard that was concerning, and it was addressed to people's satisfaction in the room, was just the queue up at the school. That's what people were concerned about. And when they understood that the school was supportive of it and that it was not going to be in through traffic lanes, et cetera, people seemed to be very comfortable with it overall. That's so far. And then I just wanted to compliment DART. That thing was amazing. The bus ride was wonderful. The handout and the stops along the way with the information, just everything they did, pulled all that together, and that was Polk County Housing Trust Fund and DART and others. Pardon?
MPO.
And MPO, oh my gosh, yes, MPO. I sat next to Dylan, you would think I'd remember MPO. It was really, really good, and I think we're all going to be very, very happy about that. And then there is an icon tour on Tuesday, the 9th. If people are interested, I need to know about that so I can maybe get you in. That's Tuesday morning. And that would be worth doing, I think. It's a similar kind of situation. I believe there's a bus involved. I'm not sure, but there's that. And then I just want to remind people of the iconic Riverfest on June 10th, rain date June 11th. And I will be out here at the Charles Gabbets Memorial Park doing invasive species removal and then working our way across the bridge and a little bit south for some trash cleanup as well as more invasive species removal. So if anybody wants to be a more formal part of that, let me know that as well.
Pat, you brought up the booklet that they handed out on the DART bus tour. Those were really good overview of a whole lot of things going on in the metro related to the MPO, DART, and affordable housing. They are going to make copies to distribute to all of the member community councils, and so stay tuned for that, because those were, I think, a really, really good.
Yeah, and of particular interest on the stops was the Star Lofts, and the developers who put that together. Might be something that if we can figure out how to do something similar here in some places, we'd be really happy with it, I think.
I thought that same thing.
Yeah, so it was cool. I've talked enough.
And I can easily get a hold of them. Also, just want to say shout out to our fire department for responding to the fires. I've heard really good, wonderful comments about the response to the fire, not because the fire was good. And some comparison to other fires that have happened and how our response has just been above and beyond other communities. Boys soccer, Urbandale boys won today, 3-1. So they play again on Wednesday. I was trying to figure out how Johnston and Northwest ended up doing. I couldn't quickly find it. So, and then I'm going to be there on Wednesday. The cleanup.
Oh, great. That's
so
super.
And I'm going to go tomorrow night, and Bob and I will hold down the fort here.
That's right.
One of us will run. No, I don't think either of us will run quicker.
I don't think neither of us are going to be running any races. But. Joe.
Most of what I was going to say has already been covered.
Including your anniversary.
I appreciate the well wishes. Obviously, my wife and I were married at an extremely young age, maybe 12, but 35 years. It's amazing.
Your marriage is older than Blake.
I
wanted to make that.
How embarrassing.
Sorry.
Oh, man.
Sorry to both of you.
That was a gut punch, actually, but it's all good. To Amy's point on the Cross Creek fire, it's my understanding that UCAN is still collecting items to help the school kids affected in that fire. I understand there are over 30 families in the Urbandale School District that were affected. So if anyone out there is listening, you can still deliver items to UCAN. They're looking for all kinds of different things. From
Distribution is tomorrow.
Distribution is tomorrow. Okay. So
do it quick.
Do it quickly. I also attended, as Pat indicated, the Douglas Avenue, the streetscape overhaul, and that was informative. I'm sure there'll be some pushback on reducing the lanes, but I think it's absolutely the right thing to do, and I appreciate the information. I thank the staff for putting together that presentation. Yeah, I think that's about it. Congrats to the soccer, boys soccer at Urbandale High. They beat Iowa City West, which is kind of a perennial power, so that's quite a feather in their cap. They now go to the semifinals.
All right, well, thank you to all of you for holding down the fort for the last 2 weeks. I seem like I'm coming out of a fog now, so I've been trying to keep up as best as possible, but my first day really out and unassisted, so I feel better every day. So thank you for that. I wish I could join you on the DC trip, but I know you guys will all represent well, so thank you for doing that, and thank you for the effort you're going to put in on that. So, and then you will see me virtually Wednesday night at the Urbandale dinner. So I will be participating virtually on Wednesday night. So, in any event, we are at the end of our agenda, so we stand adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your evening.
Are we noting the length of time it took? I just